referenced the fact that several times we tried to do this interview and stuff happened to you that was very concerning. Car with blacked out windows and so on, engaging with your vehicle and so on. Now that you've given this interview and you've gone public again and made it very clear what you think of Sean Diddy Combs, do you fear about reprisals?
No, I don't fear anything like that. I'm very, very good at what I do, and I'm trained in everything dangerous. I knew what I signed up for. I'm very well aware of the risk. I'm gonna go back into hiding after this, of course, but at the same time, me as a man, I'm here to fulfill my duty. God sent me to do a job, and I intend to get that job accomplished.
Do you think Diddy would want you dead?
Probably be in his best interest if I was.
Big homie Cece is afraid for his life, and rightfully so, as it seems unseen forces have aligned themselves against him. Did you know that he and his team rescued 17 people last year from sex trafficking and other illegal acts? 4 children and 1 boy to be exact. So who'd be targeting big homie Cece? The organizations he's infiltrated, or people like P. Diddy, who are afraid of what he might say if he's summoned to do so? Did being an attendee at least 3 Diddy freak-offs or Diddy parties, having intimate knowledge of the ongoings of those events, as well as his cooperation with law enforcement, put a target on the big homie Cece's back?
Along this path, I've been poisoned 3 times. My toxicology report showed cyanide. And, cyanide metabolizes into pneumonia in your body. So I've had pneumonia on 3 occasions. And these problems didn't start for me until I started to speak out about people like this. It's been a hard time to line up this interview because the last time I was scheduled to be in this interview, randomly, our car gets hit from the side by a blacked out vehicle. No license plate. That's happened 3 times this month so far.
Really?
All right, peace. You already know where you at and who you rocking with, right? Right. So let's get to that then. Yo, big homie Cece, P. Diddy, Gene Dale, Cassie. I mean, we got a lot to talk about, man. There's a lot to go over. You know what I'm saying? A few different point of views, but the same. 2 different individuals being big homie Cece and Gene Dale, but the same because they both, you know what I'm saying, do the same gig. You feel me? Did the same gig, for lack of a better word. But let's talk about that, man. Why isn't big homie Cece a part of the Diddy trial? Or is big homie Cece going to be a part of the Diddy trial or, testify? Because earlier, just today, I saw a Gene Deal video where he's saying that he may be called to testify about the Diddy situation. And I look at that like, man, could his words be oversaturated? I mean, because he's been speaking on and about Diddy for a moment on his own platform. You know what I'm saying? Now, could his words be, what more could he have to say, is what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know. Evidently, someone he's close to or somebody he knows, I believe he used to be a cop as well, so evidently somebody is telling him that he may be targeted in order to give testimony as to Sean Combs' character. Now, will it be for the Combs side or for the prosecution side? Where will he land? And that's why you see in the thumbnail, big homie Cece versus Gene Dale. The difference between big homie Cece and Gene Dale, because in my mind, Gene Dale was somewhat of an enabler. You dig? Yeah. I believe if he gets on the stand, now this is just my personal belief, that some of his skeletons may come out of the closet. Because I do believe he has some. Because like I said before, he's equivalent to the dude that used to go into McDonald's and get little girls for R. Kelly or whatnot. So R. Kelly didn't have to be seen doing it. You know what I'm saying? In my mind. Because he's seen a lot and he did nothing. So who knows what he partook in? I mean, as of late, he began to speak, but why wasn't he speaking in? See, that's the difference between a big homie Cece and a Gene Dale. See, Gene Dale took it as long as the check was there, took it as long as it wasn't his kids, or until he couldn't stomach what he was seeing going on, or until the respect factor dwindled so low that he had to say, you know what, I'm out of here. But it wasn't the fact that his moral setup, his moral makeup, his substance as a man was saying, nah, this ain't right, I can't do this. I ain't about to do this. You feel me? Now that's what's going on with the Cece. That's the difference. Cece sees it. He says something. He does something about it. He was never silent about what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Now, you got to respect Cece more because it seems like certain individuals respect the money and the power more. Now, I ain't saying that's Gene Deal right now, but at one point he respected the money that came with that Diddy stuff, the power, the authority, and this and that and the other a little bit more than his moral compass. And we can't say that for Cece. You dig? As you see, he brought home, just last year, they say he brought home 17 people and 4 children. You feel me? That's an admirable feat, and I respect it. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. You dig? Round of applause. But with that round of applause comes some questions. Because, see, I remember a few months back when there was an incident with you and my homeboy, Trap Talk Blue. Shout out to Trap Talk Blue, one of the realest niggas in Detroit. You dig what I'm talking about? There go to God over there. But there was an incident. Now, though it may have been squashed and all may have been forgiven between the two, I still feel some type of way about it. And I remember who you are, big homie Cece, from that incident. I remember what I saw. I soaked that in. You dig? So for you to be on Pierce Morgan and Michael Francese acting as an agent of the law is crazy to me. It was mind-blowing. You feel me? You acting as that's what I want to know about you. Who are you, big homie Cece? You dig? I respect the man that saved them babies. No Women, No Kids is a campaign that I've been running on since my channel has been up. You can check it. Go down to the bottom. My first video was about surviving R. Kelly and the little girls that was going through this and that and the other. You dig what I'm talking about? So I've been standing on that same thing you've been standing on for a minute. I just don't know if you all the way standing on that square. You got 1 foot in and 1 foot out? Because it seemed like you was on some gang shit with Trap Talk Blue. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to insinuate as to what could have happened or what was about to happen. But we all saw it. And if you didn't, there go a clip.
If you type my name in on Google, you will see real footage of me doing what you saying you do to people. It's documented.
No, listen to me. I never said about nothing about no shooting, man.
You just said that right now. You said you've been in more shootings than fights.
It was a joke.
I don't joke though. I'm not a comedian.
Nigga.
I'm not a joker.
No, nigga. I said I've been in more shootings than fights. I was just joking. It was a joke. You know what I'm saying?
So listen, bro. If you a comedian, just say you a comedian. I'm not a funny guy though.
I understand. But listen, what I'm saying to you though, my nigga. Listen, this is all I'm saying.
Hold on one second. Duke, I want to say something.
Hey, what's your name? Not you. What's your name?
Trap Talk Blue.
Trap Talk Blue.
Trap Talk Blue. All right, check.
Nah, you tell me. Who is you? And this and that and the other. But then on the other hand, on the other side of that, you got this law-abiding citizen, big homie Cece, that rescues children from sex trafficking and rescues women that are in abusive relationships and this and that and the other, all of which I respect. Again, I will say that. But who are you, my nigga? I'm getting big U vibes off you, my nigga. Are you a government agent? Are you a government asset? Do you have contracts with the government? You have to, in my mind, because you're doing sex trafficking. You're going into the pits and pulling people out. You wouldn't have access to this certain information that it takes in order for you to pull these type of jobs off and get them done if you didn't have some type of government connection. And you say you work hand in hand with law enforcement. Well, we want to know how close those hands are. That's all. Is it here nor there? No, because it doesn't matter. But it is intriguing to me. You dig what I'm talking about? Because you made some very, very bold statements for a quote-unquote street nigga. You know what I'm saying? But I don't guess you consider yourself that no more. You're a businessman. You're a business owner and everything else. You own a security company that you finesse the Cleveland Browns out of. Right? Yeah, I've been doing my research on it. You finesse the Cleveland Browns out of $100K. You pay them back increments of $33,000 at a time in order to start that company because you were not in shape for football season. And you knew you weren't. And you knew you were done playing. You said as much. So you just took that money. And I even respect that. Fuck them billionaires. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's still some street nigga shit, that finesse game. You feel me? You playing both sides of this. Where are you at in the game, homie? What is your, not rank. Rank is not, what is your, damn, I can't think of the right word. What's your name with the government? What does the government call you? You feel me? Do you have I know you got a badge. You don't identify yourself as a bounty hunter, is what I'm saying. I've never heard you identify yourself as a bounty hunter. Just a personal security person or whatnot, or I shifted my company into that. And you won't even say what that is. I shifted my company into that because in a different direction is what you will say. Because of all of the voulez-vous-venez that's going on in the industry with the folks that you be guarding and everything else. You feel me? You didn't like being the only straight guy at the party, is one quote coming from him. So he shifted his business in a different direction in order to do that. Now, in order for you to do that, what type of government contracts do you have? What does the government refer to you as, an asset or an agent? That's just something I wanted to know. You feel me? Now, he says, whenever someone has an addiction to MDMA or ecstasy, they call it the love drug. He's been doing this drug for over 20 years, and it has left his views skewed when it comes to sexual activity, and I believe that it has made him a sexual deviant. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be done with it. Don't no drug make you gay. Drug might make you aggressive. Might make you passive aggressive. You feel me? Might give you some highs and some lows, but it's not going to make you a homosexual. That's something that's already in you. You feel me? That's equivalent to saying every dude that's doing 10 years or better in jail had some type of activity like that. Nah. That's in you. You know what I'm saying? That's somebody's curiosity that they done let loose of, or this and that and the other. But if you don't swing that way, you ain't swinging that way. So I can't blame that on the MDMA. That's all puffy right there. But that's just my personal opinion. You dig? He's big homie Cece is well versed in drugs and stuff like that. That has to do with these particular parties and these people that be doing what they be doing. You feel me? So he might very well be right. But that's just the way I feel about it. He also says, along this path, I've been poisoned 3 times. My toxicology report tested for positive for cyanide, and cyanide metabolizes into pneumonia in your body. So I've had pneumonia on 3 occasions, and I didn't have these type of problems until I began to speak out against people like this. Now, who's trying to kill big homie Cece? Said he didn't have the problems until he began to speak out against people like this. Like Diddy. Is he insinuating that Diddy could be behind it? Because there's a point where, you know, Kim Porter is brought up. A few people dying from pneumonia is brought up. And he having pneumonia. And I believe in the Michael Franzese interview, he said that his door handles tested positive for cyanide. Man, you got to watch your circle. Somebody around you might hurt you, man. He the same person that said Jamie Foxx's assistant or his homeboy, he said he had a headache. His homeboy gave him the Advil that knocked him out for, 22 days? Put him in a coma for 22 days? Now, if my door handles is testing positive for cyanide, you know, everybody got surveillance on their crib and this and that and other. There got to be somebody with access. Now, that's just my mental. Now, he says he has round-the-clock security and this and that and the other. I believe he's in fear of his life. Now, that doesn't mean he's afraid, but I do believe he's in fear of his life because these forces are working a different way. This is different than somebody trying to stab you or pointing a gun at you or anything else. You feel me? This is biological warfare on top of psychological warfare. You feel me? So, where am I at? Let me not get lost. He says that a blacked out vehicle with no license plates T-boned his car when he was first supposed to do the meeting with Piers Morgan. Somebody didn't want him to do it. He says that has happened on 3 different occasions. Again, I say, who's trying to take big homie Cece out? Is it the people he's been working against in the underground sex trafficking organizations or whatnot that he's penetrated? Or is it simply P. Diddy? Because by the way the Piers Morgan interview reads, it's like P. Diddy did it. P. Diddy doing it. You know what I'm saying? He does have an active lawsuit open with P. Diddy that we'll get into in a moment or so. But I want to get into this clip, which is another mind-boggling clip that made me think, okay, dog got to have a badge when he said this.
It's a good feeling for me to see the justice system prevail, and some people deserve retribution.
You clearly feel that Sean Combs, over the years, has made people disappear.
Right.
Now you tell me what you think about it. He said it's a good feeling for me to see the justice system prevail. So he got to be on that side of the law, correct? And it's nothing wrong with that. You feel me? Security is the next is next to a cop, if you ask me. It's like the little brother of a cop. If you're doing security, yeah, you the little brother of a cop. You might as well say, especially armed security. You feel me? Because it's a different set of rules that you got to play by. You dig what I'm talking about? So, I think it's safe to say that he has sided on that side of the law. Maybe he's gotten this shit together, but like I said, from what I remember, it feels like he's got one foot in and one foot out. You know what I'm saying? We all know what the big homie is attached to. Or if you don't, you don't. But if you know, you know. You feel me? And he keeps that as a moniker for himself. Not the name of his company or, you know, something outside of the gang is what I'm going to say. You feel me? So, at a different point, it says, you clearly feel like over the years, Puffy made people disappear. He says, right. It's safe to say he would say that in court then, correct? Because he just did. I mean, that's open court right there. Piers Morgan, you might as well have went on Nancy Grace. Man, I got a few more points. The hidden, then I'm out of here. He said, human skepticism has become a virus. If we don't trust the words of our peers, where are we as a species, man? You can't trust everybody. Everybody ain't your friend, and everybody don't have your best interest at heart. So I completely disagree with that. I'm skeptical of everything. I question everything and everyone, as I'm supposed to. You feel me? So I don't agree with that statement right there. He said Epstein's list and Diddy's list are similar. I agree with that wholeheartedly, 100%, as they're bringing out all of this other stuff and these other people that's supposed to have something to do with the situation. He said he is listed in a lawsuit currently for quipping. I like the big words he uses. For quipping Combs about his sexual deviancy. He protected the plaintiff and pointed a firearm at Mr. Combs. Now, when asked to speak about the situation, he could not, because it was a ongoing. It is a ongoing situation. But Pierce did ask him point blank if he was around during an incident where Puffy was being violent or belligerent or this and that and the other, and indeed had to protect somebody from him. And he said definitely. And that right there is what makes me think that he may be a part of the case. Outside of the fact that he said he sent a video of Combs himself collecting cell phones on a yacht before people went to party and this and that and the other. Why he did it, I don't know. Who he sent it to had to be the government in my mind. Who else would he be sending it to? An attorney? I don't know. You feel me? But that's a good question, big homie Cece. Who did you send that video of Combs confiscating cell phones before the party? So in the beginning, when he said that Combs probably would be a little bit more comfortable if he was deceased, he's probably telling the wholehearted truth because he seems to know a lot. Like I said, he's been present at 3 different parties according to him. And he's seen the comings and goings, the goings-ons of those events. You know what I'm saying? At the 21-minute mark, he says, I'm going back into hiding, of course. Now, he says that after the fact that he says he's trained in everything dangerous and he's not afraid or whatnot. But protocol is protocol. You are supposed to protect your life. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if, like I said, this is biological. This is chemical warfare on top of psychological warfare because it's chemical with the placement of the cyanide. Is psychological because who could be doing this? Who had this access to do this and this and that and the other and blase splee whoopty whoop. So, you know, kudos to Dog. I know he going through a lot with this situation. You feel me? And I hope he stays safe because like he said, it is a dangerous game that they are playing in this regard, man. So let me know how you feel about it. Jump in the comment box. Let me know if you know anything. Was I accurate in the difference between a big homie Cece and a Gene Dale? Gene Dale is a look, what Gene Dale do this. He cover his eyes, he close his ears, and he do this. Big homie Cece said, nah, that shit don't line up with me morally and ethically as a man, and I can't stand by that. You feel me? Something has to be done about this, and I respect that, if nothing else, about big homie Cece. Peace to the 5% nation of gods and earths until we meet again. I'll be back.